Greetings and salutations, Dawn of War 2 fans. It's your boy Torpid bringing you another cast. A 1v1 cast today featuring FufuHunter as the Commando Knob, Saibot playing as the Tech Marine. I'm not sure who Saibot is. Now, Fufu's a pretty decent player. Wait, what? Oh, it's Saibot Demos. I'm confused as fuck. Anyway, apparently we're live right now. Guys, I don't know what's going on. Yes, this is live. I record these live, obviously. I really need to start turning off fucking Steam. Anyway, we'll just allow that. We'll just allow the comments in the top right, because I'm not going to restart this now. I'm sick of restarting these things. Hey, at least Soundbug is pretty much fixed. If you guys don't know, there's a really good fix for Soundbug. For most people anyway, I'd say 90% of people. I have played maybe 50 games and I've never got Soundbug after doing this. If you go in the Discord, there is a link in technical discussion, pinned comments to sort out Soundbug. Anyway, we've got a game between Commando Knob and the Tech Marine. So let's see how this goes. I'm guessing Saibot is Demos then. And if he is Demos, he's a very good Space Marine player. And wow, Slugger's actually getting beaten there in melee by these sluggers, but in turn the Commando Knob's like, what? You lot are a bunch of humans. You gits can't do proper melee. I'll show you proper melee. And yeah, there's a dead Tech Marine now, so there you go, proper melee. Apparently Fufu always loses to the sluggers early on. To be honest, I think that it is very easy to lose your sluggers early on, and against Space Marines in particular. Grenades are a nightmare for them, but the attacks as well. Tech Marine's a bit of a nuisance. Bionics can be very good at wiping them as well. Yeah, there's a lot of threats for the sluggers, but as soon as they get the burners, it's so weird. It's what, a 10% or a 15% HP increase? I think it's 15% more HP, but man, it just feels so much harder to lose your sluggers after you get that upgrade. Really good upgrade in this matchup. Anyway, Fufu replaced his sluggers. He's definitely going to need them because tactical marines counter shooters, whereas shooters counter scouts, and then scouts counter sluggers. Sluggers counter attacks. So yeah, the fact that Saibot has gone for double tactical marines, Fufu's going to need melee to deal with that, especially in tier 2. Your shooters can do okay in tier 1 if you fully upgrade them, because you can pump a load of upgrades into your shooters that the tanks themselves can't get. You know, tanks, they're just tanks. The best thing they can get against shooters is a flamer, and even then it's not a straight upgrade because it reduces your range, whereas big shooters actually have increased range. But certainly when you get to tier 2 and the attacks become stern guard, or the attacks just have levels with the Sarge, your shooters ain't got no chance then. Shooters don't get any upgrades in tier 2. That's when you're really going to be relying on your melee. But yeah, it's going to be pretty standard builds for both players really. Fufu getting his Storm Boys next. Now, on this map, the gen farms are quite exposed. Like, the distance from the base to the gen farm is reasonable, and then the distance from your base to the enemy gen farm isn't that big either. So what might actually happen here is we might see some bigger tier 1s to try and compensate for that. Burners up on the sluggers, so let's have a look at the HP. 720 from 600. Yeah, that is actually a huge upgrade, isn't it? Jeez. There you go, Stormboy jumping in just as ASM jump in. The ASM jumping in knocks over the enemy sluggers, which with all the pew pew from the tactical marines, it's actually pretty scary for those sluggers. They got to get out of there, but now the Storm Boys get the prime opportunity to put in a lot of work. They weren't shot on approach and there are no shotgun scouts to support. Those Storm Boys are beautiful against Space Marines because they all carry power melee choppers. These sluggers only do normal melee, and then when you get the burners, the actual fellas with the burner itself, they do power melee. But no, the Storm Boys all do power melee. So they're pretty fierce. And they're a fair bit tankier on a model per model basis than the Slugger Boys as well, so they tend to bleed less than the Sluggers, at least in tier 1. But the Stormboy Knob's not quite as good as the Slugger Knob, simply because the Stormboy Knob doesn't give you the HP buff that the Slugger Knob gives. who aren't actually aware, the Slugger Knob in Tier 2 for the Slugger Boys, he actually buffs the HP of all the other boys and himself. So if you look on the Codex for the stats of the Stormboy Knob versus the Slugger Knob, you might be like, well, they're pretty much the same thing. Slugger Knob has a tiny bit more HP, Slugger Knob does power melee, Stormboy Knob does heavy melee. No, it's not really that simple, because the HP buff that you get, wow, 20% HP buff from burners, no wonder it makes you feel so much better. The 20% HP buff you get from the burners, it stacks with the Knob's HP as well, and then the Knob himself gives all the units a HP buff, which then stacks with himself and the burner's HP buff. So the effective HP on the Slugger Knob is way higher. Anyway, we've got a pretty big engagement here. We've seen a nice hide the boys to get the sluggers into melee combat without taking any shots on approach. We also see the Assassin's Knife on the Commando Knob, which actually assassinates one of the tactical marines right there. Pretty effective. Could have sworn I'd seen some bionics, but apparently not. We don't have it. Must have just been knocked back from the ASM, I suppose. I think the problem that Saibot's having right here is the lack of shotgun support in these engagements versus now 3 different different melee units, including the Commando Knob. So I think that's what's going on here. He's recognised that, and he's getting some shotguns on this scout squad, and then he's replacing that with a default scout squad just to do the capping. He obviously recognises that he needs the capping power. If he had that scout there with all these fights, yes, he would have been winning the fights, but he'd have had literally no unit to go around capping the map. So that would have been quite a struggle. The Assassin's Knife is really nice against things like ASM in Tier 1, but the problem with it is it doesn't really scale very well. And then, unlike some of the other heroes, you don't really have a good Tier 2 weapon against Space Marines as the Commando Knob. You know, you can't go back to your default shooter, and generally you don't want the special shooter, the shotgun, very often as the Commando Knob against Space Marines. I mean, it's okay for the knockback on demand, but even the abilities damage is not very good against low model enemies. Fufu has a gigantic tech lead here, but he is behind on the VPs. He's down on 1 gen, but he's actually got quite a lot of wreck. Let's see how this engagement goes. So, ooh, he attempts to throw the stun grenade there after being knocked over. Unfortunately, that does not go very well for him, and he ends up getting took out before he can actually let loose his grenade. Now, the melee are mobbing the ASM there, but they jump out. Unlucky, they're losing a model to the shooters of all things. But the retreat was covered quite well by the shotgun blast from the scouts. And I think overall, that was a decent engagement for Saibot. Yeah, I mean, he killed the Commando Knob, he lost an ASM and he lost a scout, so it's definitely worth it. Fufu choosing to instantly buy back the Commando Knob is clearly a mistake. He should have been getting a vehicle out right now. He's getting knobs on both of his melee squads. So, had he not got those knob leader upgrades, he could definitely have a Death Dread en route right now. So that's obviously a mistake, but Fufu obviously doesn't realise he's so far ahead in tech. I think he should kind of be aware of that though. You've got to remember, when the enemy goes double tax, it means they didn't drop gens for absolutely ages. See the assassinate ability there from the Commando Knob's knife. Does huge amounts of damage to one model. Actually takes out that tack with it. Very nice. Very nice. That is a nice expensive model to assassinate. I don't think it actually one-shots them. I think it does like 300 damage or something. So then you need to get a couple of shanks to actually kill a tactical marine, but he attacks very fast with that knife. Getting beaten up by the combined might of the tech marine and the ASM there though. But yeah, Stormboy's coming in to save the day, looking very strange with his skin. I like it though, like he's got wings in his jump pack. Shooters somehow finding the scouts there, which seems a bit strange because they don't actually have the knob. Where are the other shooters? Eh? Why would these scouts only partially revealed. That is very strange. I don't get it. I think he's going for some sort of retreat wipe here. Yeah, he was going into the shotgun blast into a nade. It was kind of an epic failure though. But attacking nice and point blank. Does some good damage to the shooters. Wow. Is he going to wipe them? Tries to tie them up in melee, but wow. You've got to remember the shotguns do have fire on the move, so even when you tie that front model up, the other 3 guys will get some shots off when they're running into melee. And that's enough to actually take out that shooter knob. That could be quite annoying because we do now have 2 fully upgraded shotgun scouts, so they will be just a nuisance for the melee to deal with. Now that the sluggers and the stompers do have their knobs, however, I mean, shotgun scouts aren't going to kill them anytime soon. Like, just trying to kill a slugger or a stomper knob with shotgun scouts, it takes forever. But the annoying thing is, you can't cap with them there. They're going to knock you away while you're capping with a shotgun blast, then you're going to try and cap again, then they're going to hit you with a nade, and you have to micro away from that, and it's just going to keep delaying your cap, and that gives them a load of time to just shoot you with the shotguns. So then you have to chase them. And the problem there is if you're spending all your time chasing down scouts with your elite melee, then you're not going to win the main engagements, because how do you deal with attacks in the ASM? Commando knob's alright, but he can't do it on his own. He's actually using this commando knob really well, is Fufu, constantly harassing the tactical space marines every time they're trying to cap, killing models. Brutal. I mean, I think the commando knob himself has killed 3 marine models just with that knife. So I'd say that pays for it, honestly. I mean, think about that, that's 225 rec down the drain, that is a lot of requisition, just from that knife, and it's a super cheap war gear. So it's cool to see, you don't see it too often. Scout's going for a bit of a counter bash here, sluggers do really well, actually burn down 2 generators and get level 2 for it. Wow, when we're seeing the decap here now. Not even going for the full bash. Interesting plays. So, attempts a retreat nade, kinda a little bit too late. It was close, but a little bit too late. So he is going to get the decap, so he's delaying the power income here, but he's obviously not going to be able to cap it. I don't think that was the intention. I think he recognised that he wouldn't be able to get a full gen bash, certainly not with only 1 scout squad, and probably not even be able to get another bash onto another generator with his scouts. But because there was no infiltration detectors nearby, give him an opportunity to just sneakily infiltrate and disrupt the power income, whereas if he was shooting it with his shotguns, he'd be revealed and potentially get shot at. So yeah, a little bit of power disruption there onto Saibot's economy. Saibot is only just going tier 2 now. I didn't realise he was in tier 2 for so long. Oh my god, Fufu! Fufu, you have thrown this so hard, mate. If you just got a Death Dread, this would have been over so long ago. How is this game still going? What is going on? So this is a huge miscalculation from Fufu. I mean, I don't know why I wasn't even thinking about it myself. He fully upgraded those shotgun scouts when the knob leaders were on the field, I swear. Like, this is madness. A Death Dread would have sealed this game out easy. But anyway, it didn't happen, and here we go, we got a big fight now, ASM moving in. I think those ASM have only got 3 models though, so we're seeing some attempted grenades, but they're largely just going to miss. I think one of the ASM has been slayed by the Storm Boys. War Truck now flanks around on the scouts, sluggers get out and promptly persuade those scouts to leave. Tactical Marines are still lurking around, not really achieving too much. They're very, very scared of that commando knob, and rightly so. He's killed a lot of Tactical Marines already. Stormboy's going to move down the bottom, try and take control of this Tech Marine. I think he's still in the field, not retreating. Yep, he's just going to kite the Stormboys. Stormboy's notoriously bad at chasing units down. As you can see, they're not really very effective here. They don't actually have a melee charge, and that's the problem. So they're not gaining the speed buff that sluggers would gain. Oh my god! Wow, the War Truck actually goes down. Very bold there. Looks like grenades weren't even needed. Just missile tactical space marines. I guess they got 1 shot to the side. War Truck attempted to flee down here and expose its rear armor, and that's it. If you don't have the upgrade, then your War Truck's going to die. The War Truck is the most fragile transport in the game by default, but it is also the fastest. So again, Fufu making mistakes. He obviously should have backed off in this direction instead, not exposed his rear armor. So he's really facilitating Saibot getting a bit of a comeback here, because now there's potential for a Gen Bash using that missile launcher. We do see a Bomber Boys going in. I mean, it didn't really do a whole lot, a little bit of disruption. But honestly, the Storm Boys now are delaying quite well. They're forcing things back, but while the Tech Marine and Double Scouts get out, that's going to be way too much damage here. The Storm Boys need to get out. And now Saibot has the opportunity to get the full Gen Bash off. Sluggers, I think, aren't even going to attempt to defend this. It's not like they'll be able to do much. There's double shotguns able to knock them over here. They're just going to bleed. Probably just going to go over and put on a bit of VP pressure. The game is still very even in terms of VPs. He might actually be attempting it here. I mean, he's keeping them hanging around for a reason. Assassinate goes down on the Tech Marine again. Oh, so close. One more swing would have took out that Tech Marine, but unfortunately it looks like he's not going to get it. He uses the Tripper Shot ability onto the missile launcher model of that Tactical Space Marine. He tries to delay the bash, but it doesn't matter. All the gens are now gone at this point, and all the Space Marines get inside their Razorback and drive away. But Fufu is tier 3 and he has a rocket launcher, one of the best AV weapons in the game. Certainly, it has to be the best AV weapon on a hero, surely. I mean, Terminator Force Commander forcing melee on tanks and transports with his Power Fist is pretty annoying since you can't knock him over, can't suppress him. But yeah, it's still not a ranged weapon. Ooh, love the Daka, countered pretty well there by a nade. Unfortunately no red here for a rock, so that certainly would have been the end of the game. Do we see a Nob leader coming for the Commandos? No, we don't. And wow, the ASM jumping in, finishing off the Commando Nob himself, but these ASM really need to get out. Sluggers moving in on the flank, Storm Boys chopping him up. But they actually get away. 2 models, don't lose the Sarge, that's alright. Commando Nob coming? Yeah, so we got the Nob leader for the Commandos coming here. He actually has a rocket launcher himself. He gets some rear armor hits, that could be pretty scary stuff. Blessings of the Omnissiah dropped, and the Double Scouts are now here to reinforce, I think, one of them. Now, what are they doing? I was going to say one of them might move up and shotgun blast the Commandos away, but no, this is just a micro fuck-up. Wow. One of them goes down really late on the shotgun blast there, and unfortunately, the Sluggers were stuck in melee. Must have been rocking special attacks because the knockback didn't fully work. I really think we need to see some more upgrades on the Tech Marine. Signum Armor could be extremely effective here to punish the melee squads when they engage too deeply. Slugger Nob does fall there. That's going to be a costly thing to replenish, especially when you have no gens. Especially because Fufu, it seems, is dedicating all of his resources into a looted tank, which honestly, a little bit questionable. I mean, the looted tank obviously will counter the Razorback, and I suppose the Razorback is causing him a lot of problems right now, but I just see that there is already a missile launcher on the field. There are ASM who can easily get a Melter Bomb. You're fighting a Tech Marine who can get a Melted Gun, and now there's more tanks who themselves could get missile launchers, but in fact going to go for Stern Guard. But even then, that is another soft AV tool on the field. I think this looted tank is not going to do that well. It's also a pretty bad map for the looted tank. A lot of line of sight blockers, so a lot of ways for units to hide from its shots, and just not really very good for pathing. You know, these pieces of terrain here that are uncrushable can be very annoying to path around, certainly when gens are dropped. Looted tank right now walking straight forward into missile attacks and Stern Guard, not really what it wants to be doing. No Melter Bomb. Overambitious ASM jump to say the least. And probably an overambitious Stormboy jump as well. Now because of that initial wasted jump, there's no energy for a Merciless Strike now with those ASM, and wow, they lose so many models. That is brutal. Yep, lost the Sergeant and 2 ASM models, that is awful. Personally, I think I'd have just gone for Nobs. I think with the Commandos plus the Stormboys plus the Commando Nob, you should have more than enough to deal with the Razorback, at the very least to zone it out. And then Nobs could just basically take on all of Saibot's army on their own. But the VPs do favour Saibot. Only got one of them scouts now, unfortunately. I'm sure they were doing wonders for him in terms of the map control. Now focusing all of his forces back over here towards his natural VP, going to disrupt that commander nose, prevent the full cap. Get a little bit of poke into him. Whoa, a nice bit of poke there. Direct missile hit on the commander knob. That's pretty lucky. Could be a nice in me crosshairs, I think it's called. Yeah, right in me crosshairs. But no, misses the opportunity. The attacks back off, move away. This is going to be a nice fast gen bash. It's like Fufu's going to get his gen bash in return. A little bit of a trade there. Don't know what the scouts are doing. Okay, yeah, they're making their way over slowly. Commandos will detect them though. And Saibot has delayed for long enough that he actually can go tier 3 himself. Wow. Unbelievable. Who would have thought it? Delaying on the economy side of things, delaying on the VP side of things. I mean, he's doing a great job here with the VP delay. Up a significant amount, over 100 VPs. That was a pretty awful retreat path. Right in my crosshair is going to be used in retreat. Oh, and it actually gets the wipe. Really nice. Really nice wipe there. Fufu's economy is going insane. I mean, yeah, he owns the vast majority of the map. A little bit awkward that he doesn't own this. In fact, it's fully matured in the favour of his opponent. Then again, he has got the natural requisition of his opponent fully matured in his favour. So there you go. So Saibot will get tier 3, but I just don't know what exactly the plan is here. We're going to be looking at some Terminators. Are we going to look at a tank? I mean, on the one hand, the Razorback is doing so well that you could argue a tank would also do well, but on the other hand, there's so much AV already on the field because of the Razorback. Would it be wise to double down on that? I don't think so. I think Terminators probably would be the best choice right now. Really not liking these jumps from Saibot. Very overambitious with his ASM. He's bleeding loads of models due to it, and I don't think it's worth it. Does get the melter bomb off on the looted tank, but ooh, love me Daka into her rocks. Can the Tactical Marines and Sternguard get inside the Razorback? Yes, they can. But ooh, Jesus Christ! Oh, I think that might be the game. That might be the game. They did get inside the Razorback, but unfortunately, one of those rocks did wipe out the Razorback, and then it was very fortunate for Fufu. One of the subsequent rocks landed directly on the Sternguard's head and wiped them out. Beautiful stuff. There's going to be no more time. Saibot wants his revenge. I don't think Saibot is Deimos. I don't know, maybe it is. Saibot, do you watch the channel? Definitely comment below if you do watch the channel. I'd like to see it though, these guys doing a bit of scrimming. Best of freeing against one another. Enjoying the game, getting a taste of blood. Wanting more and more of that Dawn of War 2 frantic action. Yeah, Fufu, wow. You nearly threw that one, mate. Jeez. I mind if I sent a Torpid? Well, here you go. It's sent. It's sent. That game could have been closed out so early with a Death Dread. Saibot was stuck in tier 1 for so long. Unbelievable. Anyway, that's the game, folks. A little bit of orcs for you. I feel like we've not had too many orcs on the channel as of late. Anyway, if you did enjoy, please leave a like down below and a comment. Show your support, help us in that battle that we're fighting still. Fighting it for a long time, and I think we're going to be fighting it for a long time, that war against the algorithm. Leave a comment to help us. Do your part, we need you. That is all for your boy Torpid today. Torpid out.